We're going to keep the questions to 1 minute. We're going to give the directors a chance to be able to answer you. If I could just ask you your top 2 pressing questions, concerns. After the meeting is over, you will be able to talk to the directors individually. We just have to keep it on the time and be out of the school at a certain time. I know you guys get excited about your concerns and you have all the lovely directors here, but we just have to be mindful. So also, when you do ask your question, we're going to ask you to line up in this row right here, and we're just going to go one by one. I am going to be timing you, so please do not be upset if I tell you your 1 minute is over, because we want to make sure everyone get a chance to voice their concerns and making sure that we're having one meeting and all showing respect. With that being said, I want to thank you all. I am Cynthia McElroy. I'm over Newark People's Assembly. I'm responsible for making sure the communication goes out to the community, also making sure your voice is heard, whatever concerns you need, also helping creating block associations and tenant associations, as well as we have an initiative going on to register your block association with my office, and you get 15 free doorbell cameras. So if you are a part of an association here and I'm not aware of it, please see me after the meeting. With that being said, we're going to start introducing the... I was about to say it. Oh, trans...
Aquí hay personas que no hablan inglés. Necesitan que traduzca, bueno, si pueden entender, ¿verdad? ¿Entienden? Ok, entonces si tienen alguna pregunta y no lo pueden decir en inglés, yo la puedo traducir para ustedes, ¿ok? Así que cuando vayamos a hablar de el problema del parqueo, yo puedo traducir para ustedes para que la conversación se entienda mejor, ¿ok? So my name is Jacqueline Mercado Quiles, and I'm the Deputy Mayor Community Engagement. My office is in the second floor, room 221. We speak Spanish there. Si necesitan cualquier problema que tengan, comunicación entre la alcaldía, los programas, lo podemos traducir, lo podemos ayudar. Somos un puente entre la comunidad y la ciudad. Así que hablamos español, estamos ahí a su disposición y cualquier pregunta que necesiten hacer en español yo se la puedo traducir. Buenas noches.
So I want to thank Mayor Baraka for being here to be able to be a part of this conversation, as well as Deputy Mayor. We have Council President Crump is in the back, and then we have the directors here. We have representative from Councilman Ramo's office. So with that being said, we'll get started with introducing the directors.
Ahora vamos a presentar los directores de la oficina de la alcaldía para que los conozcan y conozcan sus nombres.
Good evening, my name is Kareem Adeem. I'm the director of the Department of H2O and the director of DPW. We oversee all the water and sewer billing, water and sewer service, and water and sewer treatment. DPW, we're responsible for the city cleanliness, picking up the garbage, trash, and recycling, doing potholes.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ketlin Osbrook. I'm the director for the Newark Department of Health. We provide public health services. Sure. Good evening. My name is Ketlin Osbrook. I am the director for the Newark Department of Health. We provide public health services like WIC, immunization, lead inspection, and prevention. And we also have federally qualified health center where we provide medical care to adults and children, as well as women's health, behavioral health, and dental care.
Thank you for having us. My name is Dolores Martinez Wooden. I am the director of the Department of Engineering. In engineering, we have the Traffic and Signals Division, as well as Code Enforcement, and the Building Department, UCC.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Luis Hulet. I'm the director of the Office of Homeless Services. We provide various services at our office, from street outreach, emergency housing, transitional housing, and rental assistance as housing navigation. Thank you for having us.
Good evening. My name is Jack Smith. I'm the director for our Office of Information Technology, where we oversee the daily IT operations for the city, as well as the Newark fiber infrastructure.
Great evening. My name is Donnell.
Donnell Redding. I'm the Director of Recreation, Cultural Affairs, and Senior Services. And I also have joined with me my Assistant Director, Ms. Keisha Raspberry.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Michelle Nelson. I'm an attorney in the Newark Law Department. We represent the city in the legal matters.
Happy Thursday. My name is Shaka Lamonius. I am the interim director at the Newark Municipal Court. We handle all traffic, parking, and lower level criminal offenses.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Molly Atuaru, Assistant Treasurer for City of Newark, representing the Finance Department.
Hello, Allison Ladd, the Deputy Mayor for Economic and Housing Development. Great to see you.
My name is Leo Carrillo, Deputy Director of the Newark Police Department, Acting Public Safety Director. I'm here with our Chief of Police, Sharonda Morse, our Fire Chief, Del Ortiz, our Chief of Fire Prevention, Ms. Gwendolyn Salim, Captain of the 2nd Precinct, Captain Rodriguez, and Acting Captain Caballero of the 7th Precinct, both precincts covering the North Ward. Thank you again for having us.
Hi, my name is Josiah Paul Muhammad, Director of Brick City Peace Collective. We work in conjunction with the Office of Violence Prevention. I'm going to pass it to Assistant Deputy Mayor.
Good afternoon or evening. Barry Ford, representing the Deputy Mayor of Public Safety's Office, Director Lakeisha Yuri, and the Office of Violence Prevention and Trauma Recovery, Director Kalisha Winfield Hill. Sorry, got it mixed up sometime.
Got to hold it the right way, make it work. My name, don't hold it? Okay. My name is Eric Pennington. I'm the business administrator. I run the day-to-day operation of the city, and I'm a part-time comic, so forgive me.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. I just want to thank everyone for coming out. I want to thank Sarinthia for organizing these all over the city. We have one more after this in the East Ward. They've been very informative for us, and we want to continue to do this. I do want to add even though we have these general meetings that she organized for us across the wards, there are specific meetings that you should be a part of. One precinct has a police community meeting in their precinct that you should also be a part of. So there's one that happens over here that you should be engaged in. If you're not, you should be involved in it because there's good information given there, and your relationship with the precinct is probably more important than you even sometimes call 911 or the 6,000 number. You have to have a relationship with the captain and the lieutenants and the folks in the department. Make sure you establish relationships by coming to the police meeting. Sarinthia here organizes meetings throughout the year. Not just this, with specific block associations and tenant associations. She's given out ring cameras to block associations who engage with her. She's been doing that throughout the city. Advocate throughout the city that the block association meetings are better than these meetings because in this meeting you get a general overview. A lot of people say a lot of things that they want to have dealt with, and the directors do their best to try to catch as many of them as possible. But from block to block, there are various issues that people have that differ from neighborhoods, from block to community. And it's easier for us to tackle those issues if you have a block association meeting. Have the meeting on your block. Get Sarinthia involved so you can invite as many or as few of the directors as you need. You might not need to speak to all of these people. You might need to speak to 2 of them. And you need them in your community meeting, or you might need me to be there. And more importantly, these block association meetings, when they call me and Sarinthia organizes that, I go. So it's important for us to have these meetings in your neighborhood. And they're easier to organize, and they're more effective and efficient at the same time, right? So I advocate for people to, if you're not a part of a block association, you should be. If you don't know if your block has a blocking association, you should talk to Sarinthia. She can find out. And if they do not, then you should probably form one, because those are very, very, very important for you to do. And I always tell people, like as an educator, the kids whose parents are engaged in the school usually get the most attention. That's just a fact. It's just a human thing that exists. And so if you're more organized, if you're well organized, if you have a block association, you probably get better attention than folks who are just arbitrarily calling downtown one at a time. I don't know what my neighbor did. My neighbor don't know what I did. I posted a bunch of pictures on Facebook, but there's no real engagement with the city. Then you're not going as far as you need to go. So we want to have an opportunity to address some of the issues and concerns that you have here tonight with all of our directors here. There are a few people, some may come, I call them serial meeting goers. We want to give them an opportunity. We want to give folks the opportunity who actually live in the North Ward a chance to express the issues that they have on their block so we can actually resolve those issues, or at least attempt to do that in this meeting. And I don't want you to feel like if we don't get to it tonight that we never will get to it, because some of us will be hanging around afterwards, and you could talk to us individually. I will be. You could talk to me individually. And you should definitely speak to Cerinthia about making sure that this is personalized for you in your neighborhood, on your block, in your living room, whatever it is you need us to do. I do know for a fact, for a few months now, we've been having serious issues around DPW, right? We've been having serious issues around garbage collection, around recycling and other issues. And so Kareem Nadeem, who is not the director, who is over there for us for a little while until we figure out who else we're going to bring in there to control it, to run it. But he's in there with a team of folks trying to get things back in order. Obviously, we had to make some changes. It doesn't take super long for me to figure out that folks aren't moving in the way we need them to move. So we make a decision to do some things, and we did that. And Kareem is here. His team is working. We were over here today. Actually, coincidentally, we were on Summer Avenue, and Delavan and Woodside for the most part, and walking around found some issues that we needed to address immediately. But in the end, I'll let you address those points because he needs to hear, whether I said this or not, that we're trying to fix the problem. He needs to hear specifically, if you have those issues, what those issues are. So in his process of addressing them, he makes sure he addresses the issues you have specifically. And it'll inform him about what needs to be done based on what has not been done since October, right? Because since October, we've been having this issue, and we're trying to address it. So just want to make sure I put that out there in advance. So when we're dealing with these things, you can begin to bring those up, and we can address it in a way that makes sense. So I'll pass this over to Cerinthia. We'll be here. We'll open up the floor at this point.
Thank you, Mayor. So this is the time that we have the questions and answers. We just want to take a minute to get the mic. So just please bear with us that you can line up right here, and then just be mindful again, 1 minute. We want to make sure there's one meeting. It's one meeting and we're showing respect. So, and then also give the directors a chance to be able to answer your questions. So you guys can start lining up if you have concerns to ask questions in the middle right here.
Hello. We also have issues with our block not being well maintained because we are in the cusp between Newark and Belleville, from Delavan Avenue and 10th Avenue and Lawrence Street and 11th Avenue. That one area is unpaved. It's not maintained. We have huge potholes, and hoping that we can get some resolution between Newark and Belleville so that we aren't left out. We have parking challenges also between Newark and Belleville. We have people that have to park on the Belleville side and they get ticketed. People that park on the Newark side and they get ticketed. Unfortunately, we all have one shared block, so hopefully we can get some resolution to that. And then, of course, collection of trash and distribution of the trash cans. And lastly, our lighting issue, hoping to be able to get resolution to the lighting so that way the block is well lit and helps to mediate any attempts of crime. Thank you.
People can answer, then I'll answer the questions that doesn't pertain to the departments. Some of this is not us.
Thank you. Thank you. Kareem.
Kareem Nadeem, the water and sewer. I spoke with you about it at the community meeting, I think maybe a couple of months ago, about the flooding. North flooding. You live in the Silver Lake area. It used to be a lake. Going flash flood, historically, that area finds its natural way the water come back. We're still doing enough assessment in your area around the sewers and the catch basins, but so far we haven't found anything that's wrong. I did meet with the engineering assistant director, Ray Concepcion, was there about the street and the paving. We did talk about that, but I think the paving contract was just voted on yesterday. Yesterday, a bunch of paving contracts were voted on, so we just need to make sure your street is in it. That's Delaware between North 10th and North 11th Street. Correct. Not 10th and 11th Avenue. Right? The trash, we made some improvements in the last 2 weeks. We changed things around. Right? We're in the process of just revamping our recycling, how we pick it up. It's being out there too late. It makes the city look a little more dirty. So we're going to get things back to normal, but we're looking to do that by the end of the month. Get back doing a greater accountability in the trash area. In the trash cans. So we rolled the trash cans out. I mean, the mayor can talk about this a little more. We gave them out for free. Most cities make you pay for them. We wanted the uniform. However, we rolled them out in phases. So right now, we still got about 2 more phases that we need to do. Then we find the money, get the money together where we're getting the cash back. We try to roll them out in every which ward, get some in phases. I wasn't a part of that, but I do know that they rolled them out in phases. And we still have 2 more phases left. What?
Yeah, and we had a contractor vendor help us give out the cans. And in some of the places, they gave multiple cans to single houses. I've witnessed that when doing our cleanup, out there cleaning up. I've seen houses with 4 or 5 cans, which we probably should have left that in the house and allow individuals to call downtown or do whatever and have the city deliver it. But we still have to do 2 more phases. And the reason we instituted that was to deal with the rodents, right? We don't really have to give people cans, but we realize that the rodents are more of a problem than us paying for the cans, because we're paying for people to go out and take care of rodents that are all over the city. The problem is people are putting garbage out on the street outside of a can. And they're leaving garbage in the bag, in the can, without it being covered, in cans that are not rodent proof, right? Just adding to raccoons, to rodents, to everything else. So we needed to buy garbage cans for people just to set them off, and we were hoping that people would see these are the cans that you needed, and some people who could get the cans go out and buy those cans for their own households to help us. But that has not happened as fast as we wanted to. People are anticipating that we're going to buy them a can. And so because we rolled it out, we have to finish the phases and actually buy the cans we need. We just can't buy them all at once because they're very expensive, right? These are like $100 cans. So we have to buy them in phases, and when we get them, we will continue to deliver them to the households that need it. But I would stay in communication with DPW to make sure they know that your block is one of the blocks that didn't receive any, and that we no longer use a vendor, that you get it right from DPW. Secondly, we do have to have a call with Belleville to talk about the shared roads and the shared streets, about what's happening in Newark and Belleville together. So we're going to get on the phone with those guys and figure out the paving situation, the ticket situation, the parking situation that's going on. Because right now, we're just going back and forth, right? So we just figure it out, just sit down with them and not have a fight with Belleville. Just figure out how to get this done, that it benefits all of us. The lighting is PSE&G. Every light you see in the city, we pay for. So, well, I should say you pay for. Or we pay for it, because I pay taxes too. So our taxes collectively pay for these. And we change the lighting, PSE&G charges us, right? So we try to get LED lighting in the city. There's some places where they've done that for us already through pilot programs or other issues, but we ultimately have to pay for that. We're working with PSE&G to see how we can get that done. If your block is particularly dark, we can go check it out and see how we can get PSE&G up there to figure out, one, if all the lights that's supposed to be on are actually on. Because there's some poles that lights may have gone out that they never replaced. There's a number on the pole that you can call PSE&G and tell them that number. They're supposed to come out and replace that light immediately. If they're not doing that, you should be in touch with us so we can be in touch with them for you to make sure they come out and make sure the lights are on. So first we need to make sure that all the lights that we already pay for are actually on, right? And if it's still too dark, we can talk to them about LED lighting and brightening the light up. But first we need to figure out if the lights that are supposed to be on are actually on. We're paying for it, whether they're on or not, we're paying for it. So all of us, so we collectively paying for that. So we have to first see that. So we need to come out there and check it out first.
So I want to say thank you for all the representatives that have came out tonight. I know that your job is not easy, and we do thank you for the work that you are trying to do within the community. If I could, I would love to be able to get a card for each of you so that way I have direct contact, so that way I can help them facilitate the change of my life.
Do you guys have a block association on that block? Okay. You're
Yes,
connected
we work
with them?
together.
Yeah, good, beautiful.
Mayor, just to add, you did it. You got all the engineering items. Thank you so much. I will stick around at the end. I can show you how to report for PSCNG for whoever's interested, and we'll go over residential parking when we're ready after we communicate with Belva, so that you guys are ready as a community to get that stuff done. Okay?
That'd be appreciated.
Kevin Barnes, Riverside Village Tenant Association President. One of my major concerns is the lighting that's coming up here, coming up Grafton Avenue. That is so dark. And kids are getting ready to go back to school again. They go to after school program. At 5:30 it is dark. And the only light they get to is when they get down to the bottom at the complex.
Are the poles out or they need
They
more?
out.
Okay.
They out. It's completely dark.
Okay.
It's completely dark. Secondly is
Grafton.
security.
You saying Grafton or Broadway?
Grafton.
Grafton.
Security. I'm not quite understanding with security when we have the specials down there that's supposed to be there. They just ride around. And you know for a fact that Grafton Avenue is a hot spot.
Right.
Okay, it's a hot spot. I try my hardest with everything that I do. I get help from the city, get their aides, Sarinthia. I get what I need to get for them. But my thing is that when there's a shooting, this one is for crime prevention. They don't never show up that same day or come and talk to those kids when there's a shooting. They be traumatized too, just like everybody else down there that be traumatized. I don't ever see them down there.
You're talking about OVP?
Yeah, OVP. I don't ever see them down here.
Okay.
And then they was like, the residents come to me, well, Ms. Barnes, why we see them going all the boards and stuff when it happens. But yeah, we count too.
Right.
We count.
Make sure you and Barry have a conversation before he gets out of here to make sure that does not happen.
Thank you. Yeah, he gave one of the meetings that he said it was with Sarinthia, but there was never a follow-up, and I
Okay.
need a follow-up.
You got it. And we'll work on the lighting immediately.
Yeah.
Hi, good evening. I'm Sylvia Benavente. I live on Parker Street. First, I'd like to thank the administration and the DPW.
Can't hear you. They can't hear you.
Okay. Yeah, that's okay. I just wanted to thank the mayor and the DPW for the recycling centers that were opened up recently. That's a great idea, and I hope that they expand to other parts of the city. My question is really a general citywide one. Unfortunately, 2 years ago, we lost 2 firefighters in Port Newark. Is the city going to pursue legal action against the shipping company, Port Authority, or anybody like that so that we can recoup and get better equipment for our firefighters, for the firehouses so that they can be renovated, for the police officers, whoever the first responders? That's what I'd like to know.
Yeah.
Secondly, I'm sorry, the stretch of Parker Street that I live on, about 8 years ago, I asked the city council if they could install speed humps because it is a raceway. It's not only a raceway in the morning and the evening, it's all day long, all night long. I did not get any kind of response from any of the city council members. I'd like to see if we can have a speed hump put somewhere along Parker Street between Valentine and Delvin Avenue because somebody's going to get hurt. There's a lot of new families coming into the neighborhood, young kids running around. We don't need a tragedy to happen. That's all I have.
So the speed humps first. The engineering director is you need to speak to before you get out of here. You need a petition from the people on the block?
I submitted a petition
Okay,
8 years ago.
Oh, wow. I don't know if we can have that, so maybe we could get an updated one and get it to her. Get it to her, not the council. Yeah, to her.
Yeah, thank you so much. Evening. I've been in the city 3 years, so I probably missed your petition. Okay. Okay. All right. So just a couple of points to the mayor's initial statement. Not only do we need a petition, but we also need a volunteer from the neighborhood to be able to get the approval to put the speed hump in front of their property if the if the traffic study warrants it, right? Because everybody wants the safety and everybody wants that measure in place, but then when it comes to installing it, everybody's like, I don't want it in front of my house. Believe it or not, we have had people calling because they want it in front of their house. So again, I actually have with me the application, but if you say you have the petition, please come see me. I have my information before you leave. Okay, perfect.
And plus, I'm going to ask that the folks there's some people, I know you guys come to every meeting, there's people in here who want to talk. Please allow them to get in front, to say their issues before we run out of time.
Yeah.
I don't want that's the problem we have in the South Ward. People don't have a chance to speak, who actually live here, who have issues, and let them be courteous and let them say their issues first. Yeah. Secondly, in terms of the fire department, we are in talks with Port Authority right now. Right, so we just got off the phone with them today. So we're in constant conversation with them. The fire department just issued a statement to them, an edict, if you will, that we would no longer, put out or service fires on these boats. We're not the first responders in terms of that. They have identified somewhere in the lease that says we should. We've identified a place in the lease that also says that you're supposed to build a fireplace for us, all kinds of stuff. So we're in negotiation with them, absolutely. We're not going to let them off the hook in this situation. We're definitely going to demand more from them. And I do want to thank Senator Reeves from this area who got some money for us statewide to help the fire department do the things that they needed to do to improve their facilities. But we are in negotiation with Port Authority. Difficult ones, but we in them.
Thank you, Councilman Ramos, for attending. Also, we have representative from Quintana's office as well. And I did see Councilwoman Roundtree here. I don't know where she went, but thank you. I'm just going to be a reminder. This is just a reminder, all questions are to 1 minute. Again, like Mayor Baraka said, we want to give everybody a chance to be able to ask questions. Last time we ran out of time, and we just want to make sure that you are aware if you can have sidebar conversations after the meeting. We will be here. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Chris. I'm from the north, and I live in Highland Avenue, but I feel like in that street, it's just been, honestly, since my mom moved there, but that whole entire street and also Parker and Ridge Street, I feel like people double park there. And sometimes my mom and we can't even park on our own street because if we do, I feel like someone is just gonna end up blocking us. And there was one morning where my mom, she was honking for a good minute, like an hour, and no one would come out and move their car. She would call the police, no one showed up. And it's just a continuous problem that, due to like the lack of parking in these specific streets, especially my street in Highland. And I feel like we just want a solution. I'm not the only one who's just tired of this. I know the cathedral, I know it's not city property, but they have 2 big parking lots. Maybe we can use them or pay for a permit or something, but yeah, that's my concern.
Yeah, well, double parking is not legal, so I think you should. Do you go to the precinct meetings?
I didn't know about that, but I'll start going for
please,
it.
Because
Captain Rodriguez, I'm actually in charge of your precinct here on 1 Macon Avenue, and I'm in charge of providing the services that you're requesting. With regards to Parker and Highland, that's been a continuous problem. Working constantly. Actually, I went to a meeting not so long ago, about a month ago, where I had both sides. I had your side that saying that we're not going out there giving tickets, and then I had a resident who came with about 5 tickets, complaining that unfortunately we issued the same resident 5 tickets. So it's an ongoing problem. We're continuing to tackle it. It's just some people they're just going to double park. They don't care if they have to pay the fine. Some people just double park. We're overcrowded. Unfortunately, there's not enough parking for everyone. So when it's something that we're working on, but if I'm going to give you my email before you leave. You can email me whenever you have that problem, and I can send somebody. And come to the meetings. Like, and I'll let everybody here know. Like, some of my regulars here, thank you for your support. Everywhere there's a meeting, you guys show up. You guys come to my meeting. The meeting in the second precinct is at 172 Broadway Avenue every second Wednesday of the month. So next Wednesday, the 14th, 5:30 p.m. St. Michael's Church. Feel free to come down. You guys can bring all your complaints, all your concerns to me, and I'm going to try to help you guys out. I also tell people that my email and all commanders' emails are public. Go to the Department of Public Safety, to the website. You're going to see my email. Feel free to email me any of your complaints, and believe me, I will answer every email me. I answer. I don't answer you right away, right? Some problems are more important than others, but eventually I do answer your email. So, 13th, I said. I'm sorry. It's the 13th. It's the wrong date. But next Wednesday, the 13th, 5:30, 172.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Ramon Rodriguez. I live on Summer Avenue between Delavan and Elwood, where you were today, right? Well, right behind my house, there was a fire not too long ago with three family houses burned and a building burned. The same owner of that building had a building on Broadway, which burned a couple of weeks before that, Yeah, the same owner. They're fixing the building on both buildings now. The other day I saw somebody working on the house right behind my house, and I went and asked him. I said, "You got a permit for that?" And he didn't answer me. So I said, "I know." So you guys had the city had an event on Delavan last week, I believe it was, and I saw a code enforcer, and he went over there, and he found out that there was no permit. Well, they're not working there no more. Thank you for that. Another thing is that I've lived in this area since 1974, and I have never seen so much things happen within 1 month. A police officer was killed. Some other people were shot in the area. Holdups all over the place. Prostitutes still run Broadway. Grafton Avenue is no joke. Businesses are closing, and this has got to stop. We need more police officers visible in our area. That's what I wanted to talk about. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll let the captain talk about that because, the crime in this area is actually in reverse. It's not going the way you said.
Yes, the crime in the area is down. You've been going to my meeting, and if you bring the concerns to me, I'm going to try to help you out. If you have a chance.
Yeah, it's definitely in the opposite direction.
No, that's okay. I thought I was speaking loud enough, but anyway, as I was speaking to Mr. Rodriguez, he comes to my meeting, so he knows that if he brings a concern to my to my attention, I'm going to deal with it. With regards to the crime in the second precinct and generally in the North District, actually crime is down. It's way down. We're down. Property crimes. It's the only issue that we have. But when it comes to aggravated assaults, robberies, and all that, we are completely down. And we have increased the patrols. Sometimes, it's unfortunate because sometimes you don't see them, right? Because when you happen to be in the area, that's when they're no longer there. But the officers are constantly back. We have a unit assigned just to Grafton Avenue, specifically to Riverside and to Grafton and Broadway. They're there every day from 4 p.m. to 12 a.m. and sometimes to 2 a.m. So, the officers are out there, and the plainclothes officers are out there. Those you're definitely not going to see, and we're attacking it with other, resources that we have. Now we're trying to implement the drones, so the drones are going to be hovering over and looking at them and other different things. So, it just takes time, right? You arrest them, the block gets better for a little bit, and then unfortunately, when they start getting released, they don't know anywhere else to go, right? They go back to where they know. So that's why you keep seeing, that it gets better, then it gets back, then it gets better. But we're working on it. Like I said, you go to my meetings. If that's the issue, keep bringing it to my attention, and you know that I'm going to keep sending you the officers that you need.
So I want to talk about two of those things. One, on Woodside, 2 of those properties do have permits. They are working on those properties. One is demolition, and the other is fixing it. You have a facade that has to be taken down still on Woodside. Both of those people have permits. There's 2 other properties that don't have permits, but they have not done any work on it. They're just sitting there. We were there today talking about whether we should allow DPW to clean and lean to knock the property down and fine them. The issue is when we do that, we take a hit because we don't get the money back. We get the money. A lien doesn't mean they pay us. It means that when it's time for them to sell the property, they have a lien on the property, and whoever's buying it has to pay us first, right? Doesn't mean we get the money. So the city takes a hit, and we don't really want to do that unless it's an emergency, unless it's dangerous, unless it's going to fall on somebody, so forth and so on, because we do take the hit for that. So two of the residents, and one of them that you're talking about, who, as you said, has a property in another place, has a permit to work on that property. I'm going to look into why both of his properties have caught on fire, for sure. Secondly, there's a difference between real crime and perception of crime, right? And there are a lot of people, if you watch these people who come to all of the meetings, who come to grandstand, they're going to make you believe that the city is on fire for their own personal benefit. But the reality is, the data is clear. Violent crime in Newark is down, is way down. It's been down for the last 5 to 6 years, as a matter of fact. We're having a few issues around property crime, and the captain alluded to that, said it straight up. We still have problems with theft from auto. That means people stealing out of people's cars, right? We still have a problem with folks going into people's house, burglary, right? Theft. So really, property crime is an issue. But aggravated assaults, shootings, homicide, way down in the city. In fact, if we continue to go the way we're going, we'll be down this year even more than we were last year by God's grace, right? And so I would say the police department is doing a good job. The Office of Violence Prevention, they're helping them out, doing a good job as well. There's always more we can do. We can never be satisfied. One shooting, one robbery is too much. And if you see that in your community, you're going to be sensitized to it, right? If you just saw somebody get shot in your neighborhood, obviously to you, crime is way up because you didn't see nobody get shot last year, right? So I do understand that and sympathize with that, which means we have to do more work in these areas. We can never be comfortable with the way things are and continue to push forward. But to say that things are worse is just not the truth. That's not factual. It's not factual information, right? It may be what you feel, but it's not the facts. Right. Yeah.
While we're on the subject of the theft, I just wanted to let you guys know, I'm sorry, Chief Sharonda Morris, Police Chief, that we're actually installing Amazon boxes at all the precincts so that you guys, instead of having the packages delivered to your house, you could deliver them to the Amazon boxes. They're outside of most of the precincts, and we're going to outfit all the precincts. The second precinct, they have their Amazon box already installed. So when dealing with packages coming from Amazon, you can always use it at the precinct.
That's what's killing us with these thefts. Package stealing. So it's killing us. So it's a smart move. They do it. It'll help us drop that number and also help you save some money.
Okay. Many of you have seen me at the council meeting, so I'm only repeating what's been going on that hasn't been resolved. So we have people running our red lights. And when I say running the red lights, the lights are red.
What street? I'm sorry.
This is the North Ward.
Yeah, but what street?
All of them. You got to pay attention. They're running red lights. So the light is red, and they're driving straight through, or now they're making a left turn on red. We have issues with stop signs. They're not stopping at the stop signs. It's not a complete stop. And here's the thing. We have young children who are walking to school by themselves. We don't want them to get hit, so something needs to be done. On North 6th Street, by the light rail, where Stephen Crane apartments are, it used to be a pizzeria, Little Caesars, and now it's a smoke shop. So we have people who are winos, drug addicts, frequenting this store. We have children. What is the messaging? Because that is not it. And why is it that the people that live on North 6th Street did not know that a smoke shop was going to be put there? That's irresponsible. That's it? All right.
So we do need to know what street you're talking about, because you said that North 6th Street, but when I asked you about the stop sign, you said every street in North Ward. But at the end of the day, we do need, in order for us to abate serious problems where we think there's streets that are having issues. Obviously, every street in the North Ward are not having issues. We need to find out what those are. We do have crossing guards. We do have traffic cops. I mean, we can target areas that we think are problematic. We follow accidents, so if there's a myriad of accidents in those areas, we'll put resources there. But if you see something that we need to see specifically, you need to give us that information so we can address it. In terms of stores, the landlord or the owner of the store has no obligation to tell us who they're renting their store out to. At least they have no obligation to do that. Only if they're building something from, absolutely not. Only if they're building something from scratch, or they're building it from the ground and they need a zoning permit, or they need to go to the planning board, or they're building something that the zoning does not allow there, then they have to message that to the community. Would it be okay, would we like for them to tell us who they rent their store out to? Absolutely. But they have no obligation to tell us because it's their property, right? As long as the person that they're renting the property to is not violating city ordinances, zoning, planning ordinances, then they're more than welcome to rent the place out to those folks. That's period. If they're doing something illegal in that place, then we need to go check it out, send code enforcement, send the police to make sure we stop them doing something. And then we can shut the store down, which is what we do around the city. There are many stores that open up around the city illegally, meaning they sell products that are not legal, right? They don't have a business license. There are different reasons that we can go in and shut a store down. We can't simply shut it down because we don't like it. In capitalism, they have a right to rent their store out to anybody they want to. Once they have the building, they have no obligation to tell the city who they rented their store out to, unless they're doing something unlawful. That's when we step in. If there's a zoning problem or a planning problem, we can step in. We can send, however, code enforcement there to make sure they're not selling products to minors, to make sure they have a business license, to make sure they have a tradeways permit, to make sure they're doing everything that's legal in the authority to do. If they're not, then we'll close the store down. So if we get the address of this place, we need to go over there and check it out and make sure everything is on the up and up. If it isn't, we'll shut it down. If it is, there's not much we can do. If we shut it down, they're going to sue us and we're going to go to court and they're going to win. Can we allow these two behind us to speak first, please?
They told us to go ahead.
Okay.
We tried to get them to talk.
Please, I'm asking you to stop at 1 minute.
No
please.
problem. So Monteith, North 7th, and North 6th, the lighting over there, the poles are there. The lighting is very low. Several cars have been broken into over there, including my own. I had to tell the detectives where to look at the cameras. I shouldn't have to do their job for them. Went to the precinct, had conversations, had to keep calling. So we need to turn the lighting up over there. There needs to be more of a police presence there. They'll come through every now and then, you know, and it's either feast or famine, depending on what's going on. Sometimes they're racing to go to Burger King. They go through the light and they go to Burger King. You know, and these are the things that are happening. But we need more of a police presence over there. And I spend a lot of time over there. Ramos will tell you, I tell him a lot of things that go on over there. Doing wellness checks on the seniors. There are 2 dead fire hydrants over there. One which everybody will block or park in front of. One day I just parked near it, came out from where I was and had a ticket on my car. Nobody else gets a ticket. But this particular night, I get a ticket not even blocking it. But there are 2 dead fire hydrants on North 6th. You got it? On the corner near Monteith. The red lights that she's talking about that these people run, it's Heller, right there, Heller in North 6. You have it down on Heller and whatever the street is over there. I can't think of the street right now because I'm on a time limit. But that entire area over there by the park, okay? That's where it's going on.
Thank you.
Anybody respond, they can.
So we just started last week the new fire hydrant contract out. So we work with the fire department. We'll be replacing. Our fire hydrant contract just started, so we're going to replace about 500 fire hydrants. Hopefully, we're trying to get it done by the end of the year. Right? And the one on Monteith and North 6 is on the list. That's why you see that tag on it, so you'll see us out replacing fire hydrants.
Police, anybody from police that want to respond?
Hi everyone, Acting Captain Gloria Caballero, 7th Precinct Commander. Thank you for coming. Hi, Ms. Freeman, how are you? In regards to what we call that 714 sector, and this goes for the entire North Ward, our sector units, and we have vehicles all over the North Ward. Each officer is assigned a specific sector to address all the concerns. Unfortunately, they can always not be there at any time that they're patrolling. They have to answer high priority areas. If you call, they will be there. It may take them a little while, right? Obviously, because depending on the call for service is how they respond. We do have officers in that area. You may not see them all the time. They do fluctuate between Franklin Avenue, where you're stating at that storefront, right, across the street from 900 Franklin, and then go all the way to the back of Stephen Crane, which is also one of our problematic areas that we border with Belleville. So I am aware of everything that's going on. I wish that I can give you everything and more that I possibly can. Unfortunately, we do the best that we can. In regards to the theft from autos that you're having, unfortunately, it is a city-wide issue. We've been putting out flyers with my community service officer. We've been asking residents, please do not leave any valuables in your vehicles. We stress this enough because sometimes it's unfortunate. It's just opportunity that somebody will take advantage, or you're rushing home and you forget to lock that door and somebody just happens to be like, oh, look, there's a shiny little object there. Let's see what it is. And they'll just open it. So it's unfortunate. It is an unfortunate crime of opportunity. We are doing our best to abate it. While I'm up here, please, anyone from the 7th Precinct, or even if you can't make it to Captain Rodriguez's meeting, I'm hosting my community meeting Tuesday on the 13th at Roseville Presbyterian. I start at 6 p.m. and I welcome anybody in the North Ward, especially since, you know, the captain and I collaborate all the time. And we always tell everyone, if you can't make it to mine, you can make it to Captain Rodriguez. We share all our information. We share all our resources. And we're here for you. So anything that you need, please reach out to me. Please reach out to my officer, Arroyo, okay? Thank you.
I want to reiterate that. Please go to the community meetings. People like to come to these meetings. It's a big stage. Go to the community meetings that they have at the precinct. You can get your problems addressed there by the people who need to address them. They can address them, and they will, obviously. So we need to make sure you attend those meetings regularly.
Yeah, you're the person who needs to address my issues. You need to rescind the inane ordinance that allows people to build shacks in their backyard. It creates a intense level of non-parking. We have an over-intensification of parking. We have people who are overcrowded in these units, defecating and urinating out in the street. I just have a video that I submitted to the police department and to your aid of a man pulling his dick out and peeing on the side of my house after he walked out of the house where he was doing his deal. Okay, so there is crime in the street. There's overcrowding, which creates a fight. There was a fight that was addressed yesterday. I sent the video off to your aid as well. So I think fighting in the street is a crime, even though the chick squabbled up and beat this dude's ass. That amounts to crime in the street. There's no street cleaning because you won't ticket and tow the cars that are there. And then there is a truck in front of my house right now, like they live in, like I'm living in a commercial zone. I live in a residential zone. There are commercial trucks that need to be ticketed and towed now.
Thank you.
Thank you. You told me that at the last meeting, but I'm gonna tell you this. Okay. At the last meeting,
18 rig is one of those big rigs. It needs to be ticketed and towed.
okay.
It's taking up
At the last meeting, you talked about the ordinance. You was wrong then, and you're wrong today. There is no ordinance. There is no ordinance that allows people to build shacks in their backyard. So let me finish. I'll let you talk. So let me talk. And I'm not going to be as vulgar and disrespectful as you were. It was very vulgar.
It was accurate.
But it was vulgar. It was very vulgar. But at the end of the day, the ordinance that we have is for accessory dwelling units. You have to have a certain amount of lot space in order to build in your backyard.
Which they do not.
If they do not, then they're doing it illegally, which means there's no ordinance that allows that to happen, which is what I told you the last meeting we had.
You said 2 acres and 4 acres.
No, I never said anything about any acres.
Here.
I said nothing about acres. I said that there was lot space that you needed. I didn't even give you the size. Now you're making that part. The reality is the law allows you to build a certain amount in your backyard. It's called accessory dwelling units, right? Allows people to put their seniors and their family there, their grandmothers, disabled folks, children that come home from their school, that need housing, they can build that in their backyard or on top of their garage. It does not take up the driveway. In fact, the ordinance doesn't allow you to take up the driveway. So the ordinance that you're talking about has nothing to do with what you're saying. there are people who are doing that, they're doing it illegally.
Well,
let me finish, man. Let me finish.
And he said it was
Let me
Ma'am,
finish.
one meeting, please. One meeting.
Doing it illegally, and they should be reported, and they can be fined, and the stuff can be removed. You're conflating the two issues. One has absolutely nothing to do with the other. And I never said there was no crime in the city. What I did say, however, is that violent crime is down, and that is a fact.
No, sir,
Thank
you
you.
just confabulated.
Thank you. We have to, ma'am, she's waiting for her turn. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for taking my question. Thank you, Mayor, and you're looking good losing weight. Thank you. Eating well. Yes, I'm here because I made a mistake. I had to leave where I live in East Orange, and I gave this man $5,000 at 158 Isabella Avenue. And I got in contact with him on May the 28th. July the 1st, he told me he had an important meeting. He told me the keys would be upstairs. I go upstairs, it looked like a war zone. I called code enforcement the second day. Inspector Lopez came out there, gave him 5 days to take care of everything. I still didn't get my $5,000. I never moved in the place. It's a dump. I want you guys to see the video. I wish I had something to put up there. I do agree with you guys with the COH, which is a great thing to do because a lot of places, we don't know what's going on in these houses. But this place is a world-class dump. No, I didn't know to make a police report because I called code enforcement and he came out there immediately, Inspector Lopez, but to my dismay, it was a whole month went by. He was on vacation, blah, blah, blah. He told me to call him back in 5 days. I called 5 days. Then he said to give the guy 10 days because there was so much going on in code enforcement. And to my dismay, I'm just out of $5,000. I need my money. And he told me he'll give me $3,000 back because he want me to get my stuff out, the landlord. But I never even put a toothbrush in there because I couldn't take my kid. She wants to work for the DEA. Somebody smoking reefer on the 3rd floor said no smoking. You can't she can't work at the DEA and smoking reefer, you know. So, I'm old, so that's why I said reefer. Sorry, y'all.
Marijuana not illegal now, though.
I know, but when you say no smoking, I think no smoking. Like I said, I gave him that money like July the 1st, and we spoke and May the 28th. I'm sorry. No, it's okay. But nothing's done.
So
people build whole houses in a month.
Make sure you speak with the director of the person who you've been talking to, Lopez, so we can get this resolved.
Yes.
And I think you need to involve the police in that matter as well. It looks like something criminal might be going on. So you need to do that. But before you leave, you need to talk to the director of code enforcement here.
Yeah, yes, thank you so much for your concern. And yeah, for the mayor, you know, there's a criminal. Right. But when it comes to code enforcement, I do want to share with the community a couple of things. One is you mentioned it before, the COH, which is a certificate of habitability. A lot of people don't understand that they have rights before they rent. The landlords are supposed to come to the city and request a certificate of habitability, which requires and triggers a couple of inspections, almost like when you're selling it, right? We have to go in there with code and make sure that you can actually live there after the previous renter left, because some people don't take care of their units, right? So it shouldn't be on the next person taking that unit to have to fix everything. No, the landlord is responsible to come into the city and say, can you come inspect? And also fire gets triggered as well. So both code enforcement and fire come out, fire department, right, come out to check out each unit that is supposed to be rented again. So you have the protection. Now for those who are selling or buying, do know that there is also a protection for you. It's called the CCC, which is Certificate of Continuous Occupancy. I'm sorry, Certificate of, I'm going to tell you what it stands for. But in this case, it's similar to a COH, but when you're selling or buying a property, it's a protection for you that if you put down, something to buy your property, that you cannot, if something is either pending open permit, or pending violations with the building department, not just code enforcement, because I have to be clear, the building department, when it comes to selling your property, gets involved to make sure that if you have any violations, the new buyer doesn't get hit with all of that, as well as a code enforcement that doesn't get triggered. If the building department has something, you cannot move on to the code enforcement coming out. So that's a little more stringent.
Make sure y'all connect.
Yes, we gotta connect, and then fire comes in. So you do have protections. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, make sure you
Thank-
talk to her before you get out of here.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Gladys Mayer. Live on Halleck, and my concern is that we've gone from one drug house to 3 now. The other day, I had to hose somebody down that passed out in front of my house because they were so drugged up, okay? I called the police department. By the time the police department came, the man had gotten up and he was walking away. What did they say? The police says we can't do anything because he's walking on his own. But, hey, I've been living there for 42 years. And these people are coming in and taking over my block, and I'm not gonna let it happen. You know? My other concern is water. One, why does the water bill come today and it needs to be paid in 2 days? I'm glad other people are having the same problem, okay? If I send a check, it takes about a week to get to wherever it's going, correct? But my bill says it's due in 2 days. Okay? The other thing is the water. If I go away for a week, I come back, my toilet bowl is brown from the water. And, you know, they did change the pipes.
The color don't have nothing to do with the lead, but I'll let Kareem answer that. And I'll talk about the police are right. So let me deal with that first. So if a person is, like they got a person that's, you think they're on drugs and they passed out and you got them up, right, and they walking away, there's really no crime that they've committed at the time, so the police can't really do much. But you should probably call Lewis's office, Homeless Services, and try to get the folks out there to engage them, right? Today, Homeless Services is out. They actually have folks from Rutgers that are with them, right? That they have drug counselors with them, and they have folks that are medically certified to take care of people on the street. Usually we call the police for everything, right? So police are gonna come, 911, 6,000, they're gonna show up, and we want to carry them away. But we don't have that policy in Newark, right? So some cities, one meeting please, some cities allow folks to arrest homeless people. We don't do that anymore.
We don't know if they're homeless.
Right, we don't, and they will find out. That's what I'm saying, call them. Allow people that's on the street, people to arrest them. We don't do that anymore. So we try to go through Homeless Services. They obviously work with the police to send a task force out there. They have an incredible task force that's doing great work. And you need to get, they're committed individuals from the city of Newark. They have Narcan, they know how to take it so you don't have to hose nobody down. They can give them some Narcan and make them jump up off the ground and give them everything that they need, and possibly admit them to the hospital if they have to, right? The police don't have the ability to do that. These guys do. They have doctors with them, they can admit them, they can give them scripts on the street. So it might be a different number you need to call, a different person you need to be in contact with if you got those folks. Now if you have people in houses that you're saying that you think they're doing something illegal in those houses, you should call the police
That
about those
housing department, that housing that's over there, that's
Then you need to call, then we need to deal with the police. So it's about a housing development, not one house.
Oh, it's a housing,
Development, it's like 4, 5, 6 of them.
Yeah, whatever. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry lives in there, and that, you know, we're supposed to be for seniors.
Louis, you want to give information to reach out to homeless?
Thank you for coming out and helping us, by the way.
Yes, thank you.
What's going to happen in the wintertime?
Well, in the winter, we got to figure something out. Talk to the director, the interim person that's there now. He's not the director, but ultimately you can figure that out. You're right. We need to come out in the winter as well. We do have a spring plan and a winter plan, but ultimately, I want to thank you and the folks that came out and helped us to do that. And I actually went around those blocks to see if somebody threw garbage back out there. Some places they did, but at the end of the day, most of it is still the way it was left. So I appreciate the residents for coming out and the people for keeping it clean. But you know, the two things, the water and what's going to happen in the winter.
First, I want to deal with the water. So we went down and talked to our mailroom about how the bill's going out, and we have a meeting scheduled with the Postmaster General. Because for some reason, the bills, if you look on it, it's a printed date or when it was mailed out and when you're actually receiving it. So we think the disconnect is the Postmaster General. This is like a bulk mail. People not getting their mail, and by the time they get the mail, it's 2 or 3 days before the bill due. But the bill date was printed 10 days before the bill ever got to your house, sometime 15. So we're looking at that. We're just waiting for the meeting with the Postmaster General. The last time we had that meeting, he found out a couple of mail carriers were just not delivering the mail, so people don't get their bill. So people getting their bill, so people just delayed carrying a bigger bag with the bulk mail that goes out. So I'm not blaming it on them, but we'll look into that if I get your address. As far as the cleanup, I think there's a variety of things we need to do. We started talking to the parking authority. Maybe we think it's time that the parking authority need to get, as we fix all our street sweepers and purchase more soon, we think the parking authority need to do their own towing to move people when they're not, blocking ways for the street sweeper to come through. A lot of times, we hear this through all the mayor's meetings that the cars don't get moved. One, they don't move them because they think we're not coming, right? And then when we do come, it's too late because we got to go all around the cars. We're zigzagging in and out the road, right? Zigzag in and out the road. The sweeper come, but you're zigzagging around all the cars. And the thing is, although we're mad at times, people will pay the ticket, but let's tow you. Let's get you out of there so we can clean the streets and get back to our city the way it used to look. We probably need to do that, right? So in the fall time, we just need to, we're making some changes, a lot of changes, getting our night detail crews back involved in things that we do, all right? So over the next...
Water around when she go away is water.
So water. So most of the time you only get brown water for like 3 different reasons. The first reason is a major fire or it's a main break and you're gonna get some discolored water. The second reason is maybe your hot water tank is gone and you'll start seeing discolored water. But the water that you get, the little brown circle around your toilet, right, normally comes from you're starting to get slime and the buildup of slime inside the hot water tank. Most people clean it out, let all the water go out, the little flip that's in there, right? Or if you got some bleach, you can put a little bit of bleach in it, right? Because the water sits and that settlement gets around in the tank. You need to pull the tank up, let the water go out, turn the water off, clean, and just wipe some of that stuff out of there.
Both of my hot water tanks went at the same time last month, and I had to put in new ones.
That's great. But the water that's going in your toilet is probably cold water, but it still builds up over time when you're not using it. It's like a little slime. I know we used to put the little flushers, the blue or the different color stuff in it. It's like a disinfect that keeps the slime from coming into your toilet and it goes around your bowl. Most people don't do that anymore. But every now and then, if you pull the lid off, you'll see like it's a brownish slime that's starting to develop. You can clean it out, put a little bleach in there, and just disinfect it to get it out. All right? Thank you.
Thank you.
Or call it fix it.
All right, good evening. My name is Gillette. I live on Mapes Avenue, and I came down here to Mapes Avenue, yes. And I came down here to talk about the garbage. There's garbage on the streets 24/7. Garbage cans in the front of these houses. Now, I've been on Mapes my entire life, and I've never seen anything like it. I remember a long time ago, we would get a citation for our grass being too high. And there's a lot of garbage out on Mapes Avenue all day.
In front of people's houses.
Yes, the garbage cans are being left out, and there's trash everywhere. What can we do? Well, yeah, no, that was it. I just came to talk about the garbage. Okay, yeah.
I'll let Kareem and then I'll answer that. You know we had a meeting at Carver.
I saw that. I missed it, yes.
So we're gonna, like the mayor said, we made changes about 2 weeks ago on how we made some immediate changes in DPW. And part of that is some things that went on that unbeknown to us or some of us, little schedule changes that wasn't rolled out the right way to the residents. We're jumping back on that now. So we're out, we're more visible now because you see us out with code enforcement. But we're gonna go back and look at Maple, but I know we just cited 3 houses, Mapes. We cited 3 houses on Mapes because at another community meeting we had in the South Ward, somebody else brought it up. right? It doesn't mean, and we don't want any areas in the city to become an illegal dumping site. It's good if you could take pictures because there's people that's coming in just dumping stuff on people's property at night because they may look abandoned or they may think it's abandoned, and we're not reporting it. We have an illegal dumping task force. Right, you can call 6,000-733-6000 in the papers over there. But we are changing things. Work with us in the next 30 days. You'll see a dramatic change of how we do something. Our code team, our sanitation inspectors, we're doing better and greater accountability to make sure they're out there ahead of time. And our supervisors.
Let's send them the maps.
Right.
It's out there now?
Yeah.
Send them the maps.
We got it.
Yeah, to see who's out there. You know, and unfortunately, the people that put the garbage out there not gonna get the tickets. Right. So the owner of the property is gonna get the ticket. Right. And hopefully that the landlord does something to them. Doesn't necessarily translate that way all of the time, but the landlord is gonna get the ticket, not the people who actually did it. Today, when I was out, I had some of the code enforcement that was with me ring people's bells. Right. So when we were out on Woodside, I told them to ring their bell. Ring the person's bell, let me talk to them, let them come on the porch. Because I wanted to see these people. Like, you got, one house had construction debris on their lawn, and they were in there. So, at some point, you know this is here, like, it's not supposed to be here, right? So, we gotta start having conversations with the people who live in these houses, which is why the block association is so important. Because if you have a block association, and you with Corinthia have a meeting, we can come, and we can get the addresses, and then we can go to those people's houses. Code enforcement can find the owner. We really need to have a conversation with the people who live there, right, about what's going on. Because if you leave in your garbage, some people, when I was on Hillside, some people had their garbage out, and it wasn't garbage day, but they had their garbage out. I mean, all of it. And some people didn't. Now that garbage is going to sit there until garbage day, and 3 days later it's going to be all up and down the street, and it's going to cause rodents, another thing. But nobody came and wrote them up. So it's two things. One is the city. We need to write them up, and we're not doing that like we should. And two, somebody needs to ring the bell. And when we rung one of the bells, we found out when we rung the bell that there were people in the apartment who were approved by HUD to live in an apartment they probably shouldn't have been approved to live in. So it allowed us to solve some other problems at the same time. When you start talking to the people that's in there, then you get a different idea of what's going on. Maybe they need some assistance that we can provide for them, some social work or whatever it is that we can try to figure out, because ultimately you just want them to keep the place clean. And the landlord don't live there. Most of the time they don't live nowhere around here. So us trying to hold them accountable is difficult. Because sometimes it's an LLC, and the LLC's name goes back to the address of the house we find. So they don't even get the fine anyway. Right? So we have to go through water and do all kind of other things to get them to be accountable to the house. So that's why I think we need to go in there and speak to the people that's in there. So that's why the Block Association is important. Let us go knock on some people's doors. Have a cordial conversation with folks. So if you live on our block, such and such and such, this is the garbage day, this is when it should be out, when it shouldn't be out, so forth and so on. And I think we've been afraid to do that. Like a lot, because we live in today. 20 years ago, we would have done that. Today, it's difficult, because you don't want to fight nobody in the street. But ultimately, we have to figure out how to do that.
Thank you.
But we're going to send them over there, right? Yes, please.
What street is that in between on Mapes, Cross Street? So we're gonna have the last question, and then after that, again, the directors. Well, we're at time, so you can talk to the directors after. You wanna? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Come on, both of you can go. Both of you could go. Come on, you could get fine. And then after that, again, the directors will be behind, the mayor will be behind. You can have a conversation with them. I just want us to be mindful that we can't be in the school all night, as much as you guys will love to talk and we want to hear your concerns. If you are not able to address your concern today, you can always reach out to Newark People's Assembly, and we'll make sure that the directors are aware of it to help abate the situation.
Yes, I'll be brief. My comment that I had is in relation to a lot of new residents moving into Newark, and they may not be aware of conditions and how to maintain the community. One of the challenges that we're having inside the area of Newark that I'm in is residents having dogs and not curbing the dogs. And we're hoping that there's some signs that can be put up to help deter people from doing that. There's been a few confrontations on my block already, and trying to avoid any confrontations from escalating. Thank you.
Me and Kareem just had this discussion even about garbage, because there's a lot of new people coming in, they don't know the garbage is. So they just really playing it by ear, they put the garbage out at the wrong time. So part of that is that. It's not everybody, some people are just irresponsible, but at the end of the day, you're right, and we have to keep going around making sure people are aware, which is another reason why we need that block association, invite people so they can learn everything that needs to go on. But we do need to make some curb your dog signs. That everywhere we go, that's an issue, so we need to address that. You want to say something?
Sure. If you are interested in having curb your dog signs posted on your block, you can reach out to 4311 or directly to the health department, 973-733-5310. We'll send our animal control officers over to the neighborhood, canvas, distribute literature so we can educate people about making sure they register their pets, number one, but also the importance of curbing their dogs so that we avoid public health hazards that are unnecessary. And I'll give you my business card after this meeting concludes.
I just want to say, the mayor right, we just had a meeting. We're in the process because the only ward in the city that get picked up in one day is the East Ward. Right, every other ward has 2 separate days because they're a little bigger. So we're in the process because we have to split it by zip codes and where the cutoffs at, that we're going to do a mass mailing throughout the city so you can know your recycle and garbage day and your bulk day. But I think we just need to redo that. And every year we have calendars that we distribute at DPW or water. So we're in the process of getting that mailing out, hopefully in the next couple of weeks.
Thank you, good. Mayor Turner? Yeah. Okay. First of all, I'm greatly appreciative of being with my fellow North Warders. I'm a relatively new person to the North Ward, maybe 15 or so years. I don't know if that qualifies as new. Okay. All right. First of all, again, this is a great pleasure. The interest, I live between Delavan and Elwood on Parker Street, and I want to make a comment and then a challenge to the mayor. First comment has to do with the voiceless among us. That is the deer, the groundhogs, the raccoons, squirrels that live in my garden and across the street, and the possums who can only do 5 miles an hour. So in tying it in with all those people who are complaining about speed bumps, not having people reducing their speed, it's not just the speed we're talking about preserving Newark's other citizens that I think we forget. I'm closer to the park, so I may see more of these animals than you do, but they're out there and they need our concern. And if you want to know what defines a society, it's how we treat our animals. So that is my challenge to you. Slow down and give them a chance. Also, final comment, the mayor, Barrack, Mr. Baraka, what will be done with respect to reducing taxes? We always complain about they're going to go up. All right, so how is it going to be addressed so they actually can be going in the downward direction? And also, I need to take a selfie, which we have to do in this day and age. Hard to turn around. Okay, we're having some technical difficulties. Yeah, maybe. Okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So, one, I live next to the park too. I live next to Weekway Park, so I get all of the animals you get. We don't have the same relationship with the animals, probably. I get a little upset. I got a raccoon in my attic that took me $2,000 to get rid of. But, at the end of the day, they come up from the park. And you're right. People drive and say you get a lot of dead animals in the street. And I appreciate that comment because we would never, ever hear that. Anyway, I'm never going to forget that you raised that. So I appreciate it. Secondly, there are 3 reasons why your taxes go up in the city, right? One is the county, the second is the school board, and next is the municipal tax, right? So all of our taxes, all of our bills together is your tax burden, right? One of the number 1 things that causes us to raise taxes is healthcare. Healthcare for employees that continuously goes up without our control of it, right? We have been doing our best. Tiffany is not here. We should start making her come to these meetings. Tiffany Stewart, who has been doing, to me, a great job in trying to make sure our healthcare doesn't go up every year tremendous amounts, right? It's going to go up somewhat because we can't control the healthcare industry. It's going to go up a little bit, but when they raise it 15%, 20%, 30%, that gets turned over to taxpayers, because ultimately the only way we make money is through taxes, right? The second piece of it, which we have that helps us reduce that, which we have problems with around the city sometimes, is building. The more buildings we build, the less burden you have, because we spread that burden around to more people, right? The more of those towers that go up that people complain about all the time, those people pay taxes, and those taxes help even out the amount of taxes that you have to pay, which is important for us, right? We have to build and continuously build so that we can even out what you pay. People are complaining about reval, right? Reval is scary to everybody. It's scary to me. My wife don't want them in the house. I told them we got to let them in the house, you know. But at the end of the day, reval is going to allow us to balance the tax burden, so it's not completely on the residents, right? That the industrial parts of the city and the commercial base in the city also has to pay their fair share. So while the state is saying Newark residents are not paying their fair share, because that's what they're saying, we're not paying our fair share as it relates to other cities in the county, the industrial areas in the city are certainly not paying their fair share. Industrial property in Newark is going for anywhere between $2 million or more an acre, right? Which means that they should be paying a lot more taxes than they're paying to the city on those properties. As well as the businesses in the city that are coming, they also have to pay, but all of those people always contest their taxes, so we wind up being in court. So they wind up paying what they're supposed to pay, but a little bit less, right? And that's usually what happens. Residents don't usually go to court on their taxes, so they usually pay the full amount in the first place. But in order for us to reduce the number, we have to maintain the amount of taxes we pay in the schools. We have to make sure that the county, which doesn't go up on their taxes a lot, a whole lot, that number stays low. That the city is able to handle our healthcare kind of expenses that goes out of control from time to time, and that we maintain a workforce that we can afford, that is not so big that it's going to cause your taxes to continuously go up. As the cost of living goes up, your taxes go up because we got to negotiate salaries and we got to negotiate healthcare benefits. The healthcare benefits is the number 1 problem. This is why we believe in reference-based pricing, which is something that we're doing in the city of Newark, something that the state has called us, by the way. Our person, Tiffany Stewart from personnel, was on the phone with about 15 people from the state trying to figure out how they can do reference-based pricing in the state of New Jersey, something that we're trying to do in Newark. And what reference-based pricing says is that Medicare already sets a price for your procedures. So you can go to the hospital in Newark and go to the hospital in Livingston for the same procedure, but the prices will be completely different. What we're saying is we're only going to pay one price, and that's it. The federal government says that the medicine for diabetes is $100. You want us to pay $500. We're only going to pay $150, and that's it. And that helps us maintain and lower the cost and keep your taxes low at the same time. But we fight with insurance companies and we fight with brokers to make sure this happens. And this is what we're doing in the city of Newark. And then we got to convince the union leaders in Newark to convince their members to allow us to institute reference-based pricing for their members. And the irony of that is that not only do the taxpayers save money, but so does the members in the city of Newark. Because whether you know it or not, employees in Newark have to pay a portion of their health care because of Chris Christie, called Chapter 78. So when I negotiate a contract with them, part of that contract is their health care benefits, right? If we keep healthcare costs low, they get to keep more of that money in their pockets, right? And so we're just trying to socialize that and explain that to the employees so they do that. So if they accept it, you save money. We save money, they save money. But you know, it's a new thing, and it's difficult trying to sell new things to folks. So it's not a new car. We don't have a Bugatti. So this is different, and trying to convince people that this is what they should be doing. I put my own self on reference-based pricing, myself, my family, my children on reference-based pricing, because I can't ask other people to do it if I'm not doing it myself. So I'm on a reference-based pricing, period. And the scary part about it is that the insurance companies may say, okay, the city said this is what it's costing, but we're going to bill you separately what we think we should get from you, and the city has to defend you in court, right? And that's really where we are. And there's a bunch of ways that we can reduce taxes, and that's really about spending, right? What are we spending our money on? Why are we spending our money? And most of our money is being spent, like I said, on healthcare and personnel. Period. Period. That's where most of our money goes, or your money. Can I say one thing before we leave? I just want to thank everybody. I know we got to leave. I want to thank everybody for coming. I'm going to be in the back to deal with whatever that we need to deal with. But ultimately, I appreciate this. But I want you to be in touch with Sarinthia McElroy. At every meeting, I emphasize this because she's building block associations around the city. She's instituted new block associations. We're having these meetings because she urged us to have these meetings. I meet with her twice a week. I meet every Monday with top level folks and every Friday with all these directors. And every meeting she's there, right? So all of the issues that you have, it's her job to bring it to us. And she does a good job at that, right? Whether we want to hear it or not. So at the end of the day, you should have a relationship with Sarinthia. Your block association should. If you don't have a block association, you should get with us so you can form one. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Baraka. Thank you all for coming out. I appreciate it. Thank you all the directors, the council members, the police department. Please make sure if you didn't sign in. We're trying to change the message that there's nothing going on in Newark. I send out email blasts twice a week of letting you know what's going on. So please sign in at the sign-in sheet. And we just be mindful that we have to be out the building in a little bit. So thank you.
They're gonna give us no extra minutes to get out?
Yes, you get it.